Editing a page in Finalsite is fairly self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to follow along, but we're going to walk through some basics. The first thing you want to do is choose the page that you want to edit from the Compose section. Then click the Compose button at the bottom left. You'll know that you're in Compose mode when this button turns blue and you see blue outlines around each of the sections. Do not mess with the top banner, the left navigation bar, or the bottom unless you are creating a brand new page from scratch. Then you will want to use your campus footer, your campus header, and then of course your campus navigation bar. So to edit the content, simply mouse over an area that you want to edit and click Edit Content. From here, you'll see a toolbar that will show up. If your content is in a smaller area, like the one here, you'll want to click on this arrow to get all of the different options that you have in your toolbar. Here you'll see you have a source code, which is your embed. You can embed code here. You can add a link, picture, video, and then of course all of your word processing pieces as well. Once you have finished editing, so again, simply click on the content and type in the new information that you want on that content. And then choose Save at the bottom. To add in or change a picture, you can click Edit Image or Image Properties and then change that, or you can go ahead and delete that image by clicking Cut and then add in a new image, which will open up your resources. You'll then want to scroll to find your resources that you want entered into that area, and then it will put in your new picture. To edit the properties of your picture, you want to right-click on that, choose Image Properties. You can change the width and height of your image. You can crop your image so that it only shows the part that you want. And again, this is very similar to anything in Google Sites or other editing software. You just click on the picture and then use the little blue dots to help you crop it to the point that you want it. And then click Save Image down at the bottom. Replace the original. Oh, no, I want to save as a new. And then we'll call this Emma Bitmagy head. Save. Oh, okay. Obviously, it wants us to save this in our folder so that it has a place for it. And then, of course, now there's my new image. I need to make sure that I align it. If I do not align it, it will be very difficult for me to put text on either the right or the left side. I can align it center if I want it to show in the middle of the section. And then I will want to put, I've aligned that to the left. So on the right-hand side, I want to put either 10 pixels or 20 pixels in between my picture and the text. You can see by playing around with that a little bit that if you want a lot of space, you'll want to use higher numbers. If you want less space in between it, here, I'll just put 1 pixel and then you can see how close that is. Okay, so depending on how close your picture is to the edge of that space, you may want to have a little bit more space put around it for your text to wrap. Once you have finished with editing that area, you click Save. Also, if you click off of the area, it will automatically save it as well. To add a new element onto your page, simply mouse over the area where you wish to add that element. And then you have a couple of different options. Your standard is really the only thing you want to do here is content. You do not want to embed directly into an element. It does not look very good, and you don't want to use the image here. It also does not look very good. It looks much better to add content first and then embed or add your image. Do not recommend using the modules. Your layout, however, I do recommend doing. So if you want something similar to the 3 columns that we saw before, you can do a 2-column 3-column layout. You have different options for your 2 columns. You can do them evenly, like this one here. You can do it wide, so that the left-hand side is wide and it's a short right, or wide on the right and short on the left. So that's kind of like what we saw at the top of the page. Let's see if I can cancel that. So here is a 2-column with it short on the left, wide on the right. Here is a 3-column layout, and then you put your edit within that layout. Here's the even 2 columns. So if I choose a layout for 3 columns, now I've got columns in which to add my elements. So then I would go here, choose standard, content. Now within my content, I can add my picture, or I can add my embed code, which are the 2 little arrows here in this box, or I can just start adding text into that area. So this is what I used here. I just added a picture into each one and aligned it so that it was centered, and that way there's a nice even space between all 3. If I had just added content and then put 3 pictures, they wouldn't have been evenly spaced, and it doesn't look as crisp and clean. So if you want to add more than one picture or picture with text, you definitely want to put your layout first and then add your regular content and then add your pictures. Now, the other thing you can do is when you add an element is you can also add the accordion layout, which is labeled accordion, and then it gives you different panels that you can then add more content to those panels. My recommendation is that you click the gear setting and then turn off the name for accordion, or alternatively, you can rename it. So I could call this resources, or I could put instructions here. Click on a tab below to choose your project, something like that. You can also choose different options that you want the first panel to automatically be expanded, or to only expand one panel at a time, so that if you expand one panel, it'll close all of the others. You can also change that to be tabs instead of an accordion, and then choose save. I'll show you what the tabs look like as well. If I add a new element and add tabs, you'll see that your tabs are going to go across the page rather than your accordion, which is going to give you panels down the page. Okay, each panel is basically a new section of content. So to access the older section, you'll see if it's gray, it means you're not editing that. If it's this orange color, or up here, there it is again, that gold color, then now you're editing that content. And again, you'll click in and then add your text, images, whatever other information you want to go in that section. If you're not happy with what you've done, click the delete element. If you like what you've done and you want to do it again, but you don't want to have to reset everything, you can set everything, do the settings exactly the way you want everything to look, and then clone it. So then it will give you you can clone it to the clipboard and then paste it to another location. To preview your site, click the eyeball down at the bottom of the page, which it's not pulling up because I haven't published it, and then click publish to actually publish your page so that you can view it with the eyeball. And it is okay to go ahead and publish it. Just remember over here on the left, click on the three dots. When you click clone page, make sure, sorry, that's wrong. When you click on the settings gear down here, sorry, you want to make sure that you've hidden it from the internal search engines, external search engines, and that you've hidden it from the navigation. When you do that, no one can see that page until you're ready. Once you're ready for them to see it, then you'll either link to it from another page or you can unhide it from the navigation. When you do that, when you unhide it from the navigation, just realize that it will show up in the navigation area over here on the left or up at the top, depending on where your page is located for your campus. If you have any questions about editing your page, or you're having trouble with embedding code or adding pictures or wrapping your text around your pictures, please do not hesitate to send me an email or give me a call. I'm happy to help at any time.